I love goal line technology. There is no mistake. And the VAR is too many mistakes.
VAR is boring. Sometimes help you, sometimes not. I think the VAR the UEFA created for what?
When VAR was introduced to football, it was supposed to fix all refereeing mistakes and save teams from robberies. We're about to enter a glorious period of clean football with sun shining and unicorns galloping around. Right? Wrong. Instead of increasing the level of trust in refereeing, VAR have become the most common target of criticism by players, managers, pundits and fans. Before, a refereeing mistake was just that, a mistake by a human being. We still got angry at referees, but we all understood that this is just the nature of things. Humans make mistakes. Now, VAR has dozens of angles, but still gets things wrong. We do not understand what is a handball and what is not anymore. Sometimes goals are being disallowed, but until the end we do not know the reason, until there is a small box appearing in the corner on TV. Is that a handball, a foul, an offside? Mess all around. But what if I told you that a small tweak in the refereeing that we're now seeing in the Club World Cup can fix the VAR? Wonder what that is? Watch until the end.
Decisions are being taken by a referee that miles away from here, miles and miles away in a TV screen. He doesn't feel the game.
So the Club World Cup has been a pleasant surprise, and I'm going to tell you why in another video. For now, I want to focus on refereeing and VAR. The 2025 Club World Cup is the first major tournament with a truly global following, which has tested this small upgrade for the whole duration of the tournament. Well, what is that? A very simple thing. Referees explaining their decisions out loud. It seems like a no-brainer and something that should have been introduced a long time ago, but football is traditionally conservative with trying new things. To be fair, FIFA started to test this small tweak in previous tournaments like the Club World Cup 2023, Women's World Cup 2023 and a couple of youth tournaments. Recently, the Italian and English federations have decided to do the same for the latter stages of their cup tournaments. That is why it is difficult to call this an innovation, but the Club World Cup 2025 is the first truly major tournament with a very large audience to test this, so there is a good chance that we can see this practice spreading to non-FIFA tournaments like the Champions League or national leagues. But why is it such a big deal? Well, simply because the referees are communicating. They are explaining their decisions publicly, leaving no room for interpretation. Take a look at these two moments from the Club World Cup. In the Palmeiras Al Ahly match, Anthony Taylor gives a straight red to a Palmeiras player for a reckless challenge. Indeed, the challenge looks bad at real speed. But after a VAR review, Taylor changes his decision. He clearly communicates that since the challenge is not too high and 1 foot is on the ground, the yellow card is a sufficient punishment.
Review. White number 23 makes a reckless challenge. The contact is low on the foot and he does not leave the floor 2 feet. Therefore, my final decision is yellow card.
Or the Atletico Madrid-Botafogo game. The referee did not give a penalty on the field. We saw several replays of the last contact between Igor Jesus and Julian Alvarez. Looks like a clear penalty, right? Yeah, and the ref acknowledges that when he explains his decision. But then he adds that just before the Igor Jesus challenge, there is a foul by Atletico's number 9, Sørloth.
After the on-field review, there was a penalty and the number 9, Atletico de Madrid, commit foul previous of the action. Is direct free kick the final decision to Botafogo. Without
this explanation, we would just assume that the referee concluded that the challenge on Julian Alvarez was not sufficient for a penalty and that this has nothing to do with Sørloth. We would have probably gotten an explanation anyway later, but getting a timely explanation about the logic behind the VAR decision save us from controversy and non-stop whining about robbery and claims of grand conspiracy against their teams by Twitter fans. I mean, to some extent. Referees have been explaining their decisions coming after video reviews in other sports too. They have been doing that for years. In the National Hockey League, referees announce decisions after video reviews.
The call. Reviewing the play, it was determined that the puck completely crossed the goal line. We have a goal.
The same is true for the NBA.
After reviewing the play, the common foul stands as called.
And many other sports. The point is that there's absolutely zero downside to publicly explaining your decision after VAR reviews. Not just showing the final decision in writing on the screen in the stadiums or having a little box in the corner on TV. That is not enough. Communicating a justification behind the decision after a VAR review makes things clear. It clarifies the logic behind the final decision. It makes things more transparent. And I'm not going to sit here and claim that this small tweak is going to eliminate all controversy from football. Not at all. There will always be grey areas in the football rules. Sometimes decisions related to handballs, penalties and offsides will be open to interpretation. That is just inevitable. But publicly communicating and explaining decisions related to such grey areas will decrease the controversy and help us understand the ever-changing laws on handballs, penalties and offsides a little bit better. Tell me if you think that this small upgrade in VAR is going to be helpful for football. Do you think it should be introduced in other tournaments like national leagues and the Champions League? In the meantime, make sure to subscribe to Football On Side and hit that bell button. I'm your host Turgut and I'll catch you on the next one.